Undertaker!
He is truly superhuman!
The new champion, The Undertaker!
If you find yourself reviewing the Demon of Death Valley's distinguished career, you'll notice that he rarely strayed from character. Taker is loved in the wrestling community for many reasons, one of which is how protective he is of his supernatural persona. So much so that he tried to stay as in character as possible when out in public.
16-21-0!
However, there were a few rare occasions over the years when the man from the dark side didn't maintain his facade and the true Mark Calaway emerged. It was impulsive at times and deliberate at other times. What are we waiting for? Let's get started right away.
Buckle up, Teddy.
Number 10. Unforgiven 2001. Over the first 4 years of the century, Taker was far more expressive than he had been in his previous career. That was, of course, due to the biker persona he had acquired, which was far more in line with his true personality.
What's your name, kid?
John Cena.
Having said that, he still knew how to perform, act, and sell as The Undertaker, coming across as a no-holds-barred monster in the ring. But it was at Unforgiven 2001 when he and Kane defended the WCW Tag Team Championship against Chronic that he struggled to maintain up appearances. The two teams didn't work well together, and it quickly became apparent as there were numerous mistimings throughout. Following a botched neck breaker, you can see him throw his head into the canvas in frustration and audibly swear. After their victory, the Brothers of Destruction had a somewhat subdued in-ring celebration, because you could see that Taker wasn't pleased with the match. And considering Chronic was dispatched from the company soon afterward, it's safe to say that that was the case. Number 9. That's it now, right? Bragging Rights 2009 saw The Undertaker defend his World Heavyweight Championship against Batista, Rey Mysterio, and CM Punk in a highly competitive Fatal 4-Way match. Though the Phenom remained the aggressor throughout, there was one particularly quiet moment in which he found himself having a conversation with Batista during the match. Having delivered a second chokeslam to Batista, the bout ground to a temporary halt as the superstars figured out what spot was supposed to come next. That's it now, right? Taker asked his opponent as he went for the cover. No, Batista responded. You gotta do the tombstone. Immediately afterward, Batista regained control of the situation until he was distracted by Punk and Mysterio, only to turn around into the arms of the dead man, where he was met by a, you guessed it, tombstone piledriver. Number 8. The time he told the referee to get lost. The marriage of Taker's Deadman and American Badass personas in 2007 may have been flawless, but it required him to act and wrestle like the former while not the latter. It was a brilliant strategy since he acted reserved and eerie during promos and before bouts before going utterly insane inside the ring. When Taker received the hot tag in the closing moments of nearly every tag team match he ever competed in, he would always charge into the ring like a complete lunatic, so you could always count on him to let the crazy badass out of his cage. One such occasion came when he teamed with Batista to take on the Great Khali and Mark Henry on SmackDown in November 2007. Upon getting the hot tag, Taker unloaded on the Giants like there was no tomorrow. Charles Robinson attempted to warn him about surpassing the count in the corner, to which the usually restrained Demon responded, "Get lost. Don't make the dead man mad, Charles." Number 7. Bringing back the badass.
It's Michelle. Hey, Michelle, I hope you're watching at home because I'm about to let the cat out of the bag here.
The moment AJ Styles began throwing shade Michelle McCool's way and referring to The Undertaker as Mark,
what I do see is a broken down old man named Mark Calaway.
it was clear that this was not a case the dead man needed to solve. This called for the return of Taker's biker persona. What we got was a new version of the hybrid Taker we'd known for the past 16 years, except this time he leaned further in the American badass direction. This wasn't the patient mythical monster. This was the aggressive and impatient biker who couldn't wait to get his hands on AJ Styles. This eventually kicked off Taker's evolution into the supernatural version of the American badass that we saw at WrestleMania 36. But at the time, it just looked like a man who had no time for theatrics and shoved his character to the side because Styles made it personal, and it worked damn well. Number 6. WrestleMania 30. One of the most puzzling nights in WWE history was the one when the streak ended.
Hooks the leg! The streak is over!
The dead man had been defeated on the biggest stage of them all in a moment that seemed unimaginable, and it was a moment that spoiled the entire evening because, regardless of your allegiances, there was nothing upbeat about this tragic moment in time. Taker, glassy-eyed and fragile from the concussion he suffered during the match, looked more mortal than he had in his entire career.
It's the greatest gladiator I've ever had the honor to witness.
It's hard to know which parts of this moment were planned and which were just Taker's genuine confusion, but either way, the dominant dead man used to destroy opponents at WrestleMania was nowhere to be seen here.
You never thought The Undertaker was going to lose. That's something that's going to stick with me for the rest of my life.
Number 5. Paying tribute to Ric Flair. The Undertaker isn't known for being an emotional man. That right there is the reason that he's considered one of the all-time great characters. He didn't show emotion, ever. That, however, wasn't enough to prevent him from showing up at Ric Flair's retirement celebration on Raw in 2008 and paying tribute to the 16-time world champion. Arriving at his traditional entrance without the blue light, Taker removed his hat and coat and immediately embraced Flair, bowing to the legend before him in the ultimate act of respect. He then got up and gave him a much warmer and longer-lasting embrace, a beautiful moment that allowed both Mark Calaway and the character of The Undertaker to pay tribute to Flair. Number 4. WrestleMania 33. Although The Undertaker's second defeat at WrestleMania was entirely unneeded, after the contest, Taker put his hat and coat back on before taking off his iconic boxing gloves in front of 70,000 spectators. After kissing his wife, Michelle McCool, the weary veteran left the arena with one more triumphant fist. Number 3. End of an era. There was already a sense of compassion about The Undertaker whenever he ran across Shawn Michaels or Triple H in the latter stages of their respective careers. But no scene from the show was more unmistakably human than the one showing the trio hugging at WrestleMania 28. After everything was said and done, there was only genuine respect. No hatred, no demons from hell. Number 2. Post-Super Showdown dismay. We've discussed how Taker's expressions spoke volumes during his American Badass days, but there was something sad and upsetting about seeing the usually emotionless dead man look so damn pissed off after his controversial showdown with Goldberg in 2019. After nearly being dropped on his head, Taker made the prudent decision to put an end to this match with an impromptu chokeslam. His expression afterward was a jumble of emotions, but you could see disappointment, rage, upset, dismay, and what the heck was that? At that instant, Taker conveyed a lot without uttering a word. Number 1. Last Ride documentary. This whole list is built upon the rarity of Taker breaking character. Mark Calaway spent his entire career protecting the Undertaker character to such an extent that, American Badass aside, many felt like they didn't actually know the man under the hat. For the Last Ride documentary, that hat came off.
I say that, but I've been saying it for a long time.
A rare, in-depth, and candid 5.5-part interview with Taker, it allowed fans to hear the legend's thoughts on his lengthy career, all the highs and lows that came with it, special behind-the-scenes stories, and how he was finally at a place where he could consider letting go of The Undertaker as a performer. The veil between The Undertaker and the reality era has been occasionally dropped from time to time, but this time, WWE wasn't putting it back up. Be sure to watch the worst botches and mistakes in WrestleManias, and we will see you in the next video.